All right, 2024 has begun. The first fight card of the year hasn't even happened yet. That's going to be Johnny Walker taking on Magomed Ankalaev January 13th. And then we're off, baby. We're off to the races. Fight card after fight card, and I cannot wait. That first one at the Apex, Walker versus Ankalaev, I'll be calling that one. Very excited to get back in the commentary seat. But it's going to be a great year of fights, and I can't wait. I mean, the UFC roster is absolutely stacked from top to bottom with rich personalities, male and female, and some of the most ridiculous fighting talent on planet Earth. And there's some insane matchups that I can't wait to see. So I'm going to take you through a list of 5 fights that I believe should happen in 2024. Now, of course, there's lots of ifs, buts, and maybes. But the thing is, if there is a possibility for these fights to happen, they're probably going to happen because that's what the UFC does, right? They give the people the fights that you want to see, okay? This ain't boxing.
Welcome to boxing, boys.
Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury, they should have boxed a long time ago, okay? Hopefully that will happen in the future, or maybe it won't, because that's just boxing and that's the way the cookie crumbles. But I'll take you through 5 fights that will be brilliant, that I want to see happen this year. All right, let's get the ball rolling. In at number 5, Israel Adesanya, the last style bender, coming back to the UFC octagon this year, not 2027, like he said. And I want to see him go up against Dricus du Plessis. Now, Dricus is fighting Sean Strickland for the middleweight strap. And win or lose, I still want to see this fight happen. If he loses, that'll be a good fight for Izzy to come back and earn a title fight, to earn that rematch against Sean Strickland. And if he wins, then we see Izzy rematch Sean Strickland anyway. And if Izzy can get the job done, right? All right, sure, there should be a trilogy match at some point, but the fight that would happen is Dricus du Plessis. So either way, regardless of who happens, there is a path for this fight to happen. And given all the vitriol, given all the hatred, all the hype, all the trash talk, the square off that they had in the octagon, all the back and forth, the history, you know, both of them arguing who's the real African and all this kind of thing, right? That hypes the fight up. That makes it very interesting as a casual. But when you look at the skill sets of both men, it's going to be a sensational fight. Dricus has ridiculous power, good grappling. As we know, Israel Adesanya, one of the best middleweights that the sport has ever seen. Outside of Anderson Silva, he is the best, okay? And he's coming back, and he wants to make a splash. And him versus Dricus du Plessis, that absolutely needs to happen, and we've got 12 months for that to go down. Moving on. Number 4, champion versus champion. Super fight, not in the men's division, the women's division. When we talk about super fights in the past, when it came to the females, it was always Amanda Nunes versus Valentina Shevchenko. Nunes has retired. Shevchenko lost twice in a row to Alexa Grasso, okay? So who am I talking about? I'm talking about Alexa Grasso taking on Zhang Weili. China versus Mexico at some time this year. I want to see that fight. Listen, both ladies are phenomenal. I'm a huge fan of both of them. Zhang Weili is absolutely incredible, okay? An excellent striker, a great grappler, absolutely ferocious. The gas tank, I mean, the output, it's never, ever ending. I mean, that lady just does not get tired. And then on the flip side, Alexa Grasso, representing Mexico to the absolute highest degree. I mean, she looked phenomenal against Valentina Shevchenko. And of course, there is other contenders for her. But in 2024, I would love to see a female super fight go down. That isn't Nunes versus Shevchenko. It should be Grasso versus Zhang Weili. All right, moving on. Conor McGregor versus not Michael Chandler, although that fight's going to go down at 185 pounds, and I am excited for that. Now, if Conor wins, sure enough, I believe he'll go on and fight Islam Makhachev for the lightweight title. Or who knows, maybe he fights Dricus du Plessis or Sean Strickland for the middleweight strap, right? It's going to be hard for him to make 155. But one person out there that he's got history with, that he's got beef with, is the one and only Nathan Diaz.
Eat your vegetables.
Nate Diaz, of course, left the UFC, went and boxed Jake Paul, lost to Jake Paul. That was regrettable for Nate Diaz and for the whole of the MMA community. However, he's talking about coming back. He's flirting. He's tweeted. UFC 300 sounds tight, but there's no one to fight. Of course there is. There's many, many people for him to fight. He's being Nate Diaz. He's putting the feelers out there. Conor versus Nate, it doesn't matter their history. It doesn't matter if they went off and lost 5 fights apiece. We still want to see that trilogy go down. The fan base is there, the appetite is there, and I absolutely want to see it. And if Conor loses to Michael Chandler, then you throw him in there against Nate Diaz. That makes all the dollars and the cents in the goddamn world. Take my money, sign me up, let's go. Number 2, this one needs to happen, and I do believe it will. I'm talking about Islam Makhachev, right? Islam Makhachev wants to fight Leon Edwards, and I understand that. And I would like to see that fight go down. Let's be honest, he afforded Alexander Volkanovski 2 shots to move up and try and take his throne, right? And now he wants to do the same thing. He wants to go up to welterweight and take on Leon Edwards. And I understand that. And I kind of like it. And I'm kind of a fan of it. But the lightweight division is the most stacked in the whole of the UFC. There's so many great fighters just itching, dying for a shot at that belt. They want to fight the champ. They want to fight Islam. They want to fight the #1 pound-for-pound GOAT right now. And the one that should get that opportunity is the one and only human highlight reel, Justin Gaethje. I mean, come on, he just knocked out Dustin Poirier, right? The man's phenomenal. Beat Rafael Fiziev. He's beaten everybody not called Khabib recently, okay? Him versus Islam, that makes all the sense in the world. Justin's ranked #2. Charles Oliveira is #1. Now, of course, that matchup was announced, but Charles Oliveira had to withdraw with the cut above the eye. That's why Volkanovski stepped. But I'm sorry, it's just how the cookie crumbles. You snooze, you lose, right? I want to see Charles against anybody, right? But Justin Gaethje bloody well deserves it. Right, so let's do that. Let's have Justin Gaethje versus Islam Makhachev. Islam ain't going to knock him out. How will he fare against the stand-up? Can he take Justin Gaethje down? Can Justin take him down? Will Justin stand and trade with him? Will he use his wrestling for once? There's so many answers, and Justin Gaethje, in my opinion, is the next likely contender. Moving on to the #1 fight that absolutely has to go down in 2024. This one is easy. If you haven't worked it out by now, shame on you. I'm talking about Tom Jones. I'm talking about the interim heavyweight champion of the world, the one and only Tommy Aspinall, going up against Johnny Bones Jones. The fight needs to happen. It's interim champion versus the undisputed champion. Now, of course, they're going to do Jones versus Stipe, right? They're doing that fight, and I'm looking forward to that fight. But let's just assume that Jon Jones wins. And I don't mean that in any disrespect to Stipe Miocic. Who knows, maybe Stipe can go out there and do it, right? Stipe is not a man to take lightly. But right now, the champion is Jones, and the interim champion is Tom Aspinall. And if we just assume for 1 sec that Jones gets the job done, he has to fight Tom Aspinall, and it has to go down this year. Listen, as you all know, I'm friends with Tom.
He was actually trying to get me down.
Right? Thomas said that he doesn't want to fight again. The only person that he wants to fight is Jon Jones. Now, I think he's making a mistake there. I think he should go out there, repeatedly defend the interim strap against all the other heavyweights. There's some great matchups, but I feel like Tom beats most of them. Make some money. Make millions of dollars in pay-per-view points, and just have the whole world, every time he defends that, saying, Jon Jones, Jon Jones, let's go, right? It gives Jones nowhere to go, nowhere to run, nowhere to hide. And that's not being disrespectful to Jon Jones. Jon has got nothing to prove, but he needs to fight Tom Aspinall. Of course, he's going to fight Stipe, right? And Stipe might win, as I said. But come on, I think you all agree with me right now that if he does win, Tom versus Jon Jones is the #1 fight that has to absolutely happen this year. Who did I miss? Of course, there's a tremendous amount of fighting talent, as I said at the beginning of the video. Some incredible matchups that need to happen also. Let me know what they are. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you make of the listing. Go easy if you're going to come at me with a bit of shit talk in the comment section. But there it is. Those 5 fights, in my humble opinion, have to happen this year. You subscribe, you ring the bell, and I will see you soon.